Hey guys, Oscar and Suni here with our next episode of Parenting on Mission. Hey Suni, I'm really excited about this episode, but not just this episode, but the next really 6 episodes, because we're starting a series on the 6 core family values that we need in our families. I truly believe that these 6 values are very important for any family. And these 6 things are very fundamental and key to the success of Parenting on Mission. Sonny, you want to tell them about what the 6 family core values are?
Sure. Drum roll, please. The first one is integrity, trust, respect, persistence, responsibility, and resilience.
Okay. So today, and I'm sure you guys agree that those 6 values are very important. These 6 values are things that we practice here in our family, and we want to encourage everyone to practice. But today, and in each session in the series, we want to kind of focus on one value at a time, right? Kind of drill down deep into each of these values. And the first one we'll be talking about today is integrity. Integrity, let's talk about the definition of integrity. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. So the key words here for me when I read it is just being honest and having strong moral principles. And so in short, the way I believe or think about integrity is just doing the right thing. Just doing the right thing when nobody's looking. Son is not looking, my kid's not looking, other people that I know not looking. But we do know who's always looking, and that's God. So, but still, just trying to be honest in my daily actions and my daily decisions. When I make a decision, just on a daily basis, just for myself, I try to do it within integrity. Or when I'm making a decision that involves you, I'm trying to do that with integrity. Or the children, I'm trying to do that with integrity. Or just anyone else in society on a day-to-day basis, I'm trying to operate with integrity. Now, am I perfect? No, I'm not perfect. I make the mistake, but the key word in integrity was me, working to do the right thing,
Right.
Working to be honest. So even if I make a mistake, it's still, the mistake is made with integrity, because I'm not intentionally trying to lie, mislead anyone, and if I do make a mistake, guess what I'm going to do?
Apologize.
Just gonna apologize
Fix it.
to them and try my best to fix it. So, that's the definition of integrity, and I think that's very important for us to be mindful of in regards to what does that mean. So when we're teaching our children about integrity, we have a good, clear definition of what it is.
Right.
What do you think about it?
And I think that I remember when my mom, when the kids were little, and my mama would say it's about certain things with the kids. Well, baby, some things they don't come here knowing how to do. You have to teach them. And integrity and those core values are things that they don't come into this world knowing. They're learned behaviors.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I think one of the ways to practice, which is our next topic, is about practicing integrity, is to teach it and having a language, a vocabulary of integrity. Talking to your kids, what is integrity? And making sure you use those words when you're talking to your children, especially when you're talking about younger children. You want to instill as much in them as possible and be proactive instead of reactive. So, having that language, talking about examples of integrity is another way to practice it and show it at home. What examples when I was at work today, and especially in this COVID situation, I could think of a really good example. The kids will see me still working. Mom, you got to go into work today? No, I'm working now at home and making sure I do and complete those hours. Although my boss is not, at the house,
Right.
but they still see me at home working and completing the hours that I'm supposed to complete, whether someone is looking at me or not. So making sure you bring up those examples and talking to your kids, that's a prime opportunity, as we call it in education, as a teachable moment. Take that time to teach them and show them examples of how you're using integrity in your life. Also building an internal conscience. I talk to the kids at school and home, even parents, as parents, you think about, well, internally, how do you build that conscience? But you tell them the more they listen to that voice that's on the inside, or that little feeling, because that's what protects our children.
Yeah.
And we have to teach them very early on to listen to it. The more you listen to it, the louder it becomes, and then you know the voice more.
And you're right, because also when you don't listen to it becomes more silent.
It becomes more silent, and that's the thing that helps them when they get into a car. No, you shouldn't get in the car with that person, because their voice is going to say, I'm not supposed to do that. So teaching them to listen to their internal conscience, which is also basically self-efficacy, where they are being able to control their decisions and their behaviors. And then not only that, when they don't show it, because like Oscar said earlier, we're not perfect, so our kids are not perfect. Right. And when they don't show it, taking that opportunity, another teachable moment to say, hey, this is what happened. You know that when you're watching television, you're not supposed to watch that channel.
Right.
You know that you're not supposed to do that, so I should not have to tell you that. But now you didn't show integrity because you know that you weren't supposed to do that. And then giving them the opportunity and understanding the natural consequence. Now, that means you can't watch television because I can't trust you to do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe you can't watch TV for this time frame or whatever, and you have to earn that back or whatever. But also, like, if our kids, they all have the cell phones, and integrity is really, and us as well. Yeah. As adults, let's not get it twisted.
Not just the children.
Not just the children. These are the adults as well. You have access to basically everything that you want, that you could want to have access to. Just type it in, and it's going to come up. Right. And so having that integrity, even behind the closed door, for example, maybe your kids are taking their cell phones into the restrooms or into their own rooms, right? Closing the doors, right? You don't know what they're watching, or they don't know what you're watching. But what they do know, if we have established this core value of integrity, they can trust that whatever we're doing, it's going to be in line with integrity. We can trust whatever they're doing. If we've taught them and spent that time that, like you're talking about, we can trust that even if they are in their room or in their restroom or wherever with their friends, that they're making decisions with integrity. Right,
and that they are and people of integrity. And I think what's important is that remembering that us saying, you're not supposed to have it. What are you doing? Instead of saying that, we think that we're teaching it by how we talk or what we told them not to do.
Right.
But that's when it's important to use that language. When you go here, you have to show integrity. That means that we're trusting you to do what you're supposed to do, even when you're not with us.
Wow.
And then developing that conscience is saying that mom and daddy may not be there, but God sees everything.
Oh, yeah.
You can't hide nothing, and so making sure that we reinforce it and teaching that language, and they understand that that's just not something that we're just telling them about, but that's something we're also practicing as well.
That's right.
Yeah. I think now, how do we instill that though? How do you instill? We practice it, we know what it is, but how do you, get to the root or the heart of your kid or even yourself?
Well, just kind of like what you said, because sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, especially earlier in my parenting adventure or journey, shall I say, when I would see something, maybe I would lash out, and maybe I feel like raising my voice is teaching,
yeah,
or me being upset is teaching. that's not teaching, as you say. We have to take the opportunity, because our children do not come into the world understanding what integrity is, right? And so we have to teach them. And maybe we didn't get that lesson. And if we didn't get the lesson as a parent, we first have to learn that lesson for ourselves, seek that out, so that we can instill that into our children. So, when I think about instilling integrity into my children, or to our children, I will give you some credit to that.
Oh, they're yours.
There were times where I'd have the kids with me, or we go into the store, and you guys probably had this happen to you as well, where you go, you pay for something, and cashier gives you too much money back.
Yeah.
Right. Or you're ringing up something, and
they didn't ring it up.
They didn't ring it up. They put it in the bag, right? And you get to your car, you're checking stuff. Oh, she gave me too much money.
So that's not a blessing.
No, it's not a blessing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not the time that that's people say God works in mysterious ways.
Oh, glory.
Manna, raining from heaven. No, that's the moment. That's the big moment.
That's true.
Like your children, they're picking up on what we're doing, right? Our action.
That's true.
So what I typically do, and what I always do, is, hey, these guys gave us too much money. Let's turn around and let's go back and let them know. Or they forgot to ring this up. Let's go take it back, let them know. Normally the cashier tries to act like it's not a big deal.
But they told us, like, just keep it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, this is the right thing to do. So,
and it's bigger than that moment.
Right, way bigger.
Yeah.
Way bigger. And now I even see our kids doing the same thing. Practicing that integrity. So beyond just talking about it, we have to model it. Take these moments. It could be as little as somebody drops money on the ground, their wallet, for example.
Right.
What do? Do we pick that money up and just put it in our pocket? Right? Or do we, if it's a wallet, do we just pick up the wallet, take the money out, and throw the wallet back down?
No, when you were kids, you put your foot on the money and drag it slowly towards you.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about when we say integrity, because the way I look at it is that we're raising little human beings. They are our children, but they're really God's children, and we have the responsibility to guide them in the way they should go.
Right, but we talked about earlier, last time, about having a mission, and you talking about you want your kids to have integrity, because I saw a quote from Warren Buffett, and he said that he looks for integrity, intelligence, and it was something else, I don't remember, but there were three things. He said none of the other things matter. Right. But integrity is the most important thing. That's what he's looking for when he's hiring someone. He doesn't care about your intelligence or about...
Well, he cares about...
Well, he does, of course. Yes, he does. But that intelligence doesn't mean a hill of beans.
That's right.
If that person...
If you're going to rip him off.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you at home sleep and you're supposed to be working.
Right.
I mean, that's ripping them off too. So I think, and that was very... eye-opening for me, not because it came from Warren Buffett, but from someone who has been successful and understanding that the importance of having that book sense means a lot, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't have these core values we're talking about, because that's what really makes a person successful.
Right.
And if you don't have those core values, you see so many people who are successful but unhappily successful.
Well, it's kind of like the old adage of, when the snake needed to get across the river, and he wanted to catch a ride on the back of the turtle, and in the middle of the river, the snake bites the turtle and kills the turtle. The turtle's like, why you bite me? I'm trying to, it's that character trait.
Yeah.
You know, it was just that character trait of the snake to bite.
Right.
And so we need to instill these character traits into our children. So whatever situation they're not perfect.
We are not perfect. I think that's the thing. The character is something we are, you know, if you go to the Bible, we're born in sin and shaped in iniquity. We are not perfect beings naturally. Mm-hmm. But then when you go into a situation where you have to practice, and I think that's important for instilling also, is whatever you practice doing is what you become good at. Teaching them to practice integrity.
Practice integrity.
Constantly reinforcing that. When you teach an addition, I don't teach, 1 + 1, okay, that's 2. You got it, baby. Good job. You know how to add.
Right. That's it. Find the lesson.
Exactly. Get to the board and put 1 + 1 + 2. Here's one pencil. Here's another pencil. You're constantly reinforcing the behavior that you want them to learn. And I think instilling it is not just talking about it and not just showing it, but constantly reinforcing it, bringing it up in conversations, highlighting that point when you have the experience in your life as well as other family members that they have shown that integrity. That's the most important thing.
That's right. Well, all right. We have anything else to say in the topic of instilling integrity?
One more, just remember that we're not perfect and our kids aren't perfect. But as long as we still operate in integrity, even in our imperfections. And just don't forget to say, if you mess up, I apologize.
Right. That's integrity.
That's it.
That's integrity.
It's not hard. I mean, it's hard to humble yourself as an adult sometimes when you apologize to your children.
I apologize to my children all the time.
But it's the most, and it's the best skill that you can teach them.
It really is. Yeah. Well, hey guys, just so in conclusion here, the value of integrity. Let's just think about it. What did we say it was? Just for one, just doing the right thing when nobody is looking, and just working to be an honest person, a moral person, a parent, and then we're trying to instill that into our children.
Right.
Now, if you think about many of the things that are going on in society right now, like I can go down the whole list, but I won't, because it would be a pretty long list. A lot of them, the root cause of these problems is the lack of integrity. This one principle, and that's why I'm so excited to talk about it. And this is why it was the first topic in this 6-part series that Sonny and I wanted to bring to you today, is about just integrity. So we as parents, we must first work to understand and practice integrity. So again, remember, we understand that maybe we didn't get the lesson of integrity. Maybe our parents did not sit us down and tell us about integrity. Or maybe they did. Or maybe they didn't sit you down, but maybe they demonstrated integrity to you. So maybe that was their way of teaching it to you, but maybe we were just not paying attention. You know how that happens sometimes when our parents are trying to tell us stuff and we ain't paying attention. But regardless, guys, as a parent, we have to have it first, right? And then we have to go and work. Key word, we have to work. We have to sit down with our children and have lessons about these things. One of integrity, and it starts from day one.
Right.
When our children were born, I remember when they were babies, there were things that maybe it wasn't called lessons of integrity,
right?
But that's what it was, right? But as they got older, we put those seeds in them, the seed of integrity, the seeds of these other values. So now that they're 18, 15, 12, the seeds are planted. Right. Now what we're trying to do is water those seeds that we planted, but we're not trying to plant the seed at 18. We're not trying to plant the seed at 15, the integrity seed at 12, because it's harder. The ground would be harder.
Right. The roots have already been established.
Right. You don't want to wait until your children are hardened, right?
But it's not too late.
Oh, yeah, that's the next part I'm about to say. is that it's
alike.
not too late.
Right.
It's never too late. Even if you wanted to go plant a seed in hard soil, what do? You have to soften it up, toil it, plant the seed, still water it, still nurture it. So yeah, it's never too late. And so I want to make sure you guys, really take these actionable points away and realize that it's never too late, but the earlier you start, the better. I can say that, that's for sure.
And I would just encourage, like you were talking about, even if it's older children, but even your younger children, having the opportunity to sit down together and for parent points for the week, that I would encourage you to sit down and have talks, informal talks or formal talks, whatever, you do. We have family devotions, but we have breakfast and we talk, and have that time to sit down and talk to your children and talk about what is integrity, what it is. Times that you've shown integrity as a parent, and even talk to them about times, having them to think about what are times that you've shown integrity, as a child, and then why it's important to have integrity.
Yeah.
And even for your older children, I would say, even if it's a little bit later and they're a little older, just sit down and say, when I did this and I told you I was going to do this but didn't do it, because sometimes that happened, how did that make you feel? So I don't want to feel that way either as your parent. So this is what that means to me when you don't do things that I've asked you to do.
Sure.
And I think that sometimes when they understand and they put themselves in our position and reverse roles, it's clear, it's crystal clear. Crystal. And so, I would just encourage you is that sitting down, having those talks, and do that periodically with your kids. I've found for us that is so monumental and eye-opening just to have conversations with them.
Right.
Yeah,
just talking. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Not just letting them be parented by television or their phones or their friends. Sometimes we have a busy day.
Yeah.
There's been many times where I don't have any mental energy left, or even physical energy, and I'm spent. But and same with you. But we still come together, and even if it's just 15 minutes, 20 minutes, spending that time having these, planting these seeds into our children, depositing these seeds, right? Depositing. That's what we have to think about this as, depositing. Because at some point, when you deposit your money in a bank, you want to get a withdrawal, right? And when it comes time to withdraw your money, if you didn't deposit anything, guess what you're going to get?
Settle.
Still zero.
Settle.
So we got to take that time and invest and deposit into our children. It's so important.
And into ourselves.
Oh, of course, into ourselves. We got to do this.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything you want to leave the people with, Sonny?
Yes, I would love to leave everybody with the word of encouragement. And I just speak life into our families. And I pray that we're all whole and healthy and strong and loving, and that we're walking in the purpose in which it has been designed for each and every one of us and our family members. And I just hope that we hope that everybody has a great week.
Yeah.
But if you can't have a great week, we ask that you just speak it and expect it until you see it.
Well, that's great. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's session. And I do ask that you follow us, comment on this video. Let us know what you want to hear about, and let us know what you think about integrity. What's your thoughts about integrity? And maybe other parents. There's a lot of people out here that need this information. Maybe you guys know some. Hey, share this video to them, tag them so that they can get this information, guys. Sonny and I, we come together and try to prepare this information so that it's meaningful and it's going to add some value for you. All right, so I do encourage you to also tune in for our next episode on our value number 2. Our value number 2 is trust. And guess what? You can't have trust without integrity. So hey guys, remember, parenting is a lot easier when you do it on mission. See you next time.
Bye. Have a great week.